Hi guys, Delicate. I'm back again, and today we're going to talk about macros. As you can see, I'm in my Frost right now, and I've got the one macro that I showed you last time. I got rid of the other ones just because I figured I'd maybe show them to you later in another video or something, and I wanted room for the macros I was going to make for this video or blah blah blah. So they're not there now, but I do play with macros normally. So as you can see, been rocking some arenas and some BGs and some other random crap. I'm not in a guild right now, so I've got a sad no guild. Oh, no one likes Delicate. So I'm actually not going to show you macros in this spec. I'm going to go to the other spec, and I will see you guys in a moment. Bye-bye. And we're back. All right, so normally people, when they give you a macro video, they're going to tell you, this is the macro that I use, blah, 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 and you should use it too. I'm not going to be doing that. Instead, I'm going to show you how to find out how you should macro your own tune. So as you can see on our bar, we have absolutely nothing except for Arcane Explosion, which just goes like this. Pew, pew, pew. All right, when I do Arcane Explosion, what we're going to do is we're going to have our spell book open. We're going to look at all of the abilities and see what is not on a global cooldown. So here we go. Pew, alter time. Grab that. Put it over here. We go through. Oh, Arcane Power. We can use that. Nope, nothing else on that page. Counterspell. Sweet. Deep Freeze. Now, obviously, Deep Freeze is normally on the global cooldown. In this situation, my Deep Freeze is off global cooldown because I sometimes go Arcane for PvP, and I want to hit Deep Freezes quickly. So, bleh. All right, Evocation, blah, blah, blah. Nope, on the global cooldown. Invisibility. That sucks. It's on the global cooldown. It'd be so cool if it wasn't. Oh, Presence of Mind. Sweet. And, oh, Time Warp. Okay, so now we'll go over real quick to General, because everyone always forgets General. And Will the Forsaken is actually on the global cooldown. So that's pretty lame. But at least we can revive our battle pets. That's awesome. So happy. Cannibalize on the global cooldown. That is lame. So, these are the things that are not on the global cooldown. The way that macroing works is you can either set up, we'll just do the very basics right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you that you can either just link things together. So obviously in this case we could grab and make a new macro, and we'll call it negative, and we could take all of our abilities that we just grabbed. So like we just hit the shift button, hold down shift, and hit the left mouse button. We can cast Alter Time, we can cast Arcane Power, we could do a counter spell, because that's awesome, and we could do a Deep Freeze, and then we could do like a Presence of Mind, and we'll toss in Time Warp. It's like the best. This is the best macro ever. And now, so that's the things that we could normally put onto a macro. And the cool thing about macros is you can link things that are off the global cooldown with one last thing on the global cooldown that like you can just kind of put together. So the last thing we'll put up there. All right, so I'm gonna put it right here on F, and then we're gonna hit it all at once, and we're gonna see what happens. Oh, I did so much stuff all at once. Look at how amazing I am. Look at my Time Warp and all my stuff. And I luckily didn't blink off this, which would have been awesome, actually. Like, I wish I did blink off that. But so that's the basics of how you can set up like a random macro. This is just a spell macro. This is what most people use a macro for. So this is all we're going to cover in this video. Is that you can just kind of like, use shift and then hit your left mouse button on the abilities that are off the global cooldown in order to use all of them at once. And then at the end of a macro, you can put something like an actual thing that's on the global cooldown. So long as the thing that's on the global cooldown is at the end of the macro, it will work. If you put it up higher, sometimes things get messed up, and also if you put two things that are on the global cooldown together, only the thing that was on the top will work. It's very much like it just goes down the line of code and just goes, hey, cast this, cast that, cast this. We'll go more into detail about this macro and how to actually make interesting macros, but for now, I'm going to leave you with what I've shown you on this mage. Now, obviously, for other classes, it's going to be totally different, the kind of stuff that you're going to have on your specific class. The goal is to look at your spec, look at your class, and see the things that are off the global cooldown, and then start thinking about how you would incorporate those things into a macro with the stuff that you currently use as abilities. So something like, arcane power. If you're an arcane mage, you may want to put that in arcane blast, or maybe even presence of mind. Toss that at the beginning of arcane blast, so when you're going to cast arcane blast every single minute, 1.5 minutes, gosh, and every single 1.5 minutes you end up with a free, not free, but an instant cast arcane blast. That's just one possibility. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, because it's nice to have it for like on the run for PvE, and obviously for PvP and instant cast polymorph, it's pretty kick ass. So, stuff to think about, and I will see you in another video called Macros Step 2, which we will go over like actually how you would do this sort of crap. So until then, figure out a little bit of cool stuff on your own, and deuces.